me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine.
This episode of Greenlight Maine is brought to you by Thomas College. Personal, practical, guaranteed.
Good morning. I'm your host, Julene Gervais, and welcome to Season 4 of Greenlight Maine, the show where 26 Maine-based businesses compete for the $100,000 grand prize. Today, you will meet two of the brilliant companies, but only one will get the green light and move on to the next round. But even though only one contestant will win the $100,000, Greenlight Maine still supports all 26 competitors on their journeys to strengthen Maine's economy. Before we begin, I would like to introduce you to tonight's judges. First, we have Mike Duguay. Welcome back. You've been on before. Tell us about what you do.
I oversee the Harold Alphon Institute for Business Innovation at Thomas College.
Excellent. We're glad to have you back.
Thank you.
And next we have Angie Helton. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here. I'm president of Northeast Media Associates, a public relations firm based in Southern Maine.
Perfect. And finally, welcome Tim Hill.
Thank you. I'm president of Tim Hill Fine Woodworking, and we're a custom woodworking and design business in Gorham, Maine. In business 25 years, doing work in commercial and residential spaces.
Perfect. We're going to talk to you in just a few minutes, but first it's time to introduce our first contestant of the day. I'd like to welcome Joe Powers from Ripso.
Thank you.
And a lot of people would think that you have a background in clothing, but it's actually energy. Tell us about that.
That's right. I'm probably about as far from fashionista as you could get. My background is working on electric cars at Tesla and working in the shipping industry, transforming shipping from a diesel-based economy to natural gas. So in starting my own company, I decided where else can I find this sustainability factor, and I found it in clothing, where production and consumption of clothing is highly very wasteful, and so that was what prompted me to start looking into this further.
That is so interesting. Well, we're so happy to have you on Greenlight Maine, and whenever you're ready, you can just go for it.
Thanks. Hello. So at Ripso, we're excited to transform clothing ownership, and we appreciate the opportunity to chat with you three judges and share our story with the Greenlight Maine viewers. So just for a bit of background, I grew up in Vermont and spent my career, as I mentioned, working in Silicon Valley, environmental tech startups, and about a year ago, I got the itch to be back east, and I moved to Portland, Maine, with the intent of starting my own company, but I was unsure in which capacity at that point. But I was noticing this brand called Untuck It popping up everywhere. And if you've heard of them, they sell men's dress shirts that are cut just a little bit shorter, made to be worn untucked. I am squarely in the target demographic for Untuck It, which means that most of the perfectly good shirts in my closet, the long shirts, are obsolete, just ghosts of my tucked-in past. And what this meant for me was that I was getting very interested in the idea of clothing obsolescence as I saw Untuck It progress. I read up on it and I realized that Untuck It fit in perfectly well with what has become a disposable clothing culture, where the average American now owns 300 articles of clothing and never touches a third of them. So this is what I call the idle clothing problem, and it's the opportunity that I seized to launch Ripso. So with the idle clothing problem, our research showed that turning away from those idle clothes actually hurts, and that people are interested in a way to resurrect their idle clothing if they have a well-designed way to do it. So at Ripso, we're building a company around achieving this for people. So what we do is we have designed a network of independent designers who work from their homes and can connect with clothing owners one-on-one to reimagine their existing clothes. And we've designed an app and a logistics process to make the back-end interaction seamless and fun. So in the case of my languishing long-waisted shirts, I would simply log onto the Ripso app, connect with a designer who can shorten each shirt to my liking, and then receive them back into my rotation with an even deeper sense of connection. And we think this technology-enabled solution can not only tackle the idle clothing problem itself, but also bring upcycling into the mainstream. So we expect to use the Greenlight Maine Award to continue moving forward with our app, finalize the back-end packaging and shipping solution, and then launch to the general public. And without these funds, we simply can't climb the hill to bring attention to this alternative category at the scale we need. So with that, we greatly appreciate your consideration and welcome any questions.
Great job. So you never have to get rid of that favorite pair of jeans again.
That's right.
Awesome. Okay, first question, Mike.
Is there sort of a matching, like either algorithm where if I go on there and I have either a woolen good or a denim good, and I'm looking for that person who actually can modify that, how does that go back then out to the manufacturers or remanufacturers, and how do you match that up, or is it first come, first serve? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, it's a great question. So when a user comes on to the Ripso app, they're going to see some splashy images of creative, cool things they can do with their clothes. And so they can take one of two routes to getting to that decision. One is, hey, I just saw that cool idea I never thought of, that embroidery pattern, and I'd like to do that, so tell me where I can find the designer to make that happen. Or one is, hey, I have a woolen product, I need this particular alteration done, in which case they can specify that and filter the results accordingly.
Angie.
How do you market to customers? How do you get your customers?
That's a great question, and it brings into the conversation sort of the bigger challenges that we've had, which is really introducing this sort of new category of clothing ownership to people and helping them understand this as a process for idle clothing, as opposed to the other two alternatives, which are I'll take it to Goodwill, which is a good solution, or just throwing it out, which happens 85% of the time. So, that is something that we're doing now through a lot of social media targeting, because we have a very specific sort of target demographic that we're focusing on to start. But of course, over time, we'll be using a broader set of marketing tools to do that.
Tim.
It sounds like a time-consumptive process to get information from a client knowing exactly what they want to have done or altered, which is not a bad thing. It's just one of the challenges of your business, probably. How many people do you have working for you, and how do you intake that piece of the information, and how long does it take for each client?
Quick answer, Joe.
Sure. So it's kind of what I answered before. There's a very easy sort of onboarding, understanding what a customer wants coming in. Sometimes they know specifically, sometimes they don't. But all that is done through the app. So there's really no manual process from the back end for us to achieve the end point of what they want done.
Nice job. Great questions by our judges. We've got to take a short break. Don't go away. There's more Greenlight Maine coming at you.
Greenlight Maine would like to thank the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development, the Maine DECD, helping businesses and communities prosper.
Thomas College believes in innovation. From the Harold Alfond Institute for Business Innovation and our Center for Innovation in Education to 3-year undergraduate degrees and accelerated graduate programs in business, cybersecurity, and criminology, innovation is in our DNA. Money Magazine ranks Thomas 23rd in the nation for value, and our Guaranteed Job program backs that up. Thomas College, personal, practical, guaranteed.
Thomas College is a proud sponsor of Greenlight Maine.
Are you trying to increase sales? At Dream Local Digital, we've been helping businesses using Facebook, Google, and other online tools for over 8 years. We're experts at helping small businesses because we work with them nationwide.
Dream Local publicizes the important part of me and what I stand for and what Archers is about.
We'd love to help you grow your business as well. Give us a call today.
For more information about the presenters and panelists on all the Greenlight Maine shows, visit greenlightmaine.com.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Our Sunday morning conversation is with Thomas College, and welcome back again, Mike Duguay. Thomas College is getting to be known as the pipeline to Maine. Tell us what that means.
Sure. What we're working on is really looking at providing the talent for not only Central Maine, but really for the state of Maine in a whole. We're known for actually providing our graduates into the Maine workforce. Roughly 70% of our graduates actually stay here. So they really become that future workforce for Maine.
And you've been tracking that.
We have been.
Yeah. And you have a brand new program that's like a year old. Tell us about that.
That's correct. That's what I oversee for the college. It's the Harold Alfond Institute for Business Innovation. It's a program that's really meant to provide innovation and entrepreneurial skills, programs, and events for Central Maine in particular, but also our student base, of course, because that's what we're trying to do. Not only in regard to creating that talent pipeline, but really providing the students with the tools of innovation and entrepreneurship so that if they don't start their own business, they can go out into the business community and really be change agents and help those businesses become more competitive.
Great. And so how do they do that? Let's break this down. So they, whatever their major is, all majors, they have an inclusive internship. How does that work?
Right. So we do it through not only academics, of course, that's what we do, but we also focus in on that internship, getting that student really something meaningful and unique to what they're actually studying in the classroom so they can extend their experience and skill out in the workforce. And the hope is if they can work in Central Maine, they might be able to actually stay there upon graduation. And we're also working with what we call enhancements. So outside of the classroom, events, programming, guest speakers, other things that we do to really give students of all majors, as you pointed out, just an experience on what innovation and entrepreneurship, what it's about, what it entails.
And they do this inside of 4 years.
They can do it actually in 3 in many cases
Wow.
because we do have an accelerated track, but historically 4 years as well.
Now, do you work with the companies and help place them in these internships? And are they paid?
That's correct. Yeah, it's actually a paid program, so we work with businesses to help them get the right student into the position that really makes the most sense for both the company and that student as well.
Can you give us any examples of some of the success stories?
Sure, we've actually placed a fair amount of students who are doing what we call like big data or cybersecurity. So they're working inside these companies here in Maine, and eventually they're the ones who are getting actual offers prior to actually graduating. And that's extremely important because really what this is about is helping those companies find the best talent and keep them local when they're already there. We want companies to actually focus on what they do best, not necessarily recruiting talent. That's what we're here for, and we're providing that best talent for them upon that student's graduation.
That's awesome. So that's what we want, people to stay in Maine and work in Maine.
Exactly right.
Any advice for our contestants?
Yeah, I would say use your network as much as you possibly can. You'd be very surprised what the second or third degree of contact from you with your friends and or your mentors and your peers will actually bring to you. Not only in the way of potential financing, which is important, but also just skill and expertise. And I don't think we use that enough.
You are so right. That is excellent advice. Well, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you so much for being our sponsor, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have our second pitch, so don't go away.
For almost 25 years, Maine Biz has been providing business news, information, and analysis for business owners and C-level executives in Maine. From Fort Kent to Kittery, Maine Biz serves the decision makers of Maine across multiple channels, including its flagship print digital publication, website, events, daily report, real estate insider, and weekly newsletter. Let Maine Biz help your business succeed. Inform, engage, connect.
At Emera Maine, we know customers rely on us to power their homes and businesses. That's why we're continually working to improve reliability of service and meet our customers' changing needs. Emera Maine wants to help local businesses grow and attract new businesses to northern and eastern Maine. We are deeply invested in our communities because these are our communities too. Emera Maine, bringing power to the people of Maine.
To find more resources on how to start and grow your business, visit greenlightmaine.com.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Our second pitch is American Roots, Whitney Reynolds and Ben Waxman. And congratulations on Greenlight Maine, and congratulations on your wedding. You guys just got married.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell us about that.
It was, she said yes. Yeah, it was good.
That's always a good thing to say yes, right? Well, we're happy to have you here, and whenever you're ready, just take it away.
Okay, thanks. Hello. So American Roots is a 100% American-made, union-made apparel company. We focus on business-to-business sales, or more specifically, logoed company apparel. Every piece of what we make is sourced in the United States, and every garment is produced in our factory in Westbrook, Maine. So the idea of American Roots came about when Ben moved home to Portland from Washington, D.C. after a long career in organized labor. And the idea was simple. He wanted to create jobs in the place where he grew up. Didn't know what we wanted to make, but that we wanted to create jobs. So our mission from the beginning has been to support our workforce, our community, and our country by creating good-paying jobs and delivering a quality American-made product. So in the beginning, to help us get off our feet, there were a few light bulb moments.
So in the summer of 2014, my mother, Dory Waxman, who owns a small wool company, invited Whitney and I down to Uxbridge, Massachusetts to visit where she was getting her wool. It was about 95 degrees outside. Whitney and I walked into the mill that day with my mother, and it was about 120 inside. Half the machines were going, half the machines weren't. I looked at the machines that weren't going, and like many small factory towns we've all seen, I looked at Whitney and I said, we're going to build a factory. I don't know what we're going to make, but we're going to build a factory. 6 months later, I'm sitting in a plow truck with a friend of mine. I'm wearing a fleece vest. I've just moved home from a Washington, D.C. life to a Maine winter life, like I grew up with. And I had a fleece vest on. I took it off, and on the inside it said, made with USA fabrics, assembled overseas. At that moment, the light bulb didn't go off. It exploded in my head. Fabric was being made in the U.S. and shipped overseas and then sent back. Why couldn't we make it here?
So in July of 2015, we trained our first group. In that October, we launched the company with 4 employees. Within a week, we were sold out for 6 months. So in just short of 3 years, we've gone from 900 square feet to 4,000 square feet, and we just moved into our new 14,000 square foot factory in Westbrook with our team of 20 employees.
So in 2.5 years, we've done just over $2 million in revenue. We've moved 30,000 units to market. We have tapped less than 1% of our tier 1 targets. This company was built with a basic idea of Whitney and I utilizing our Rolodexes of our previous careers to focus on B2B, eventually moving to B2C. And we know that with our innovation, automation in our machinery, investment in our workforce, we can expand that 1% that we've only tapped to capture our full Rolodexes and beyond. Right now, there's a moment happening in America, and I think we all know that people want American-made products. We believe American Roots can be that company that provides a great product, employs a great workforce, and makes a better community and country for all of us.
Perfect. Great story, and that's what we like to hear, creating jobs in Maine. Let's start with you, Mike.
Sure. Is there something where you have a defined product line, or is that something at the request of the business that you're working with that they would suggest something that you could make? Is it off the shelf and then customized, or how does that work?
So we have a set product line. We have a goal to add 2 to 3 new products every year. We're constantly getting ideas from our customers. For example, we have right here, this hooded sweatshirt. We know that we've sold 6,000 of these to market. We know half of our clients want an even heavier sweatshirt. So we know next year we're going to put out an even heavier hoodie. But for the most part, if folks come to us with ideas, we lay out our product line, but we also take their ideas into concept for our next year.
Angie.
What's the biggest challenge doing everything made in America?
Good question.
I would say one of them is finding raw materials. You know, I mean, just for an example, it took us about 6 months to find pocket fabric to put in our fleece jackets and vests. So it's quite a process. And then, you know, constantly looking for new vendors so that, you know, just in case that one falls off the chain, you have a backup.
Tim.
Congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you.
How busy is your staff of 20 right now? Are you backlogged? Are you waiting for business to come in? How are you positioned right now?
Right now, our workforce averages between 4 and 5 hours a week in overtime through the summer months and into the fall. Right now, we're focused on 2019. We can't keep up. If we had 40 stitchers, they'd all be sewing. Right now, we have 14 to be exact. We're expanding that, plus our inspection crew as well.
So you're taking on new clients that are requiring your products. And one more question. The products that you're selling, are they relabeled when they get to your client as their product, or is it coming in as your product and your name under American Roots?
Quick answer, because we got to go to break.
Yep. Every one of our garments has the American Roots label. We customize it with their logo. Great.
Great answers, very informative. Great questions by our judges. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Furniture for Greenlight Maine is provided by Thomas Mosier Furniture, handmade American furniture since 1972.
Are you trying to increase sales? At Dream Local Digital, we've been helping businesses using Facebook, Google, and other online tools for over 8 years. We're experts at helping small businesses because we work with them nationwide.
At Horch Roofing, we pride ourselves on doing quality roofs, not social media and direct marketing. That's why we hire the professionals at Dream Local.
We'd love to help you grow your business as well. Give us a call today.
In 1972, Tom Moser committed his life's work to craft, and 4 decades later employs 70 fine craftsmen and women in our shop in Auburn, Maine. With showrooms and customers from coast to coast and numerous awards and accolades, Tom has firmly established himself as an entrepreneurial tour de force and has proven that a life doing what you love is indeed possible.
This year's winner of Greenlight Maine will win this handmade Thomas Mosier beacon box and $100,000. Broadcast facilities are provided by Husson University's NESCOM, the New England School of Communications.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. We are going to dig in with our judges and hear what they think of these great companies or concepts. Let's start with Joe from Ripso. Great idea, and I love that he wants to work with all Maine companies.
Yeah, very interesting idea. He's got some challenges out in front of him for sure, but he's also done a lot of work already to pull together the people that will be doing all the sewing and the remanufacturing of the older products, and also just doing a lot of the part of the marketing on the front end. It's sort of an interesting thing that he's going to function as with the artist and with the client, bringing them together, and just how he's going to position himself in the middle of it is going to be the challenge. In commerce. Angie has a lot of background in this. I'm sort of interested in her.
Well, I thought he was. I thought the presentation was great. I think the concept's awesome, and I like how thought out he was about sort of if he does win, what he's going to use this for, because he has done some great work in the back end of the beta testing and wants to do more of that. He sort of needs those brand ambassadors to kind of bring this forward to like the major public. And I think he's thinking in the right direction. I think he's got a good plan, and if he wins, he's going to take it to do the marketing, the package solutions that he needs now.
Yeah, so we learn a lot during the breaks that he doesn't say on camera. So he needs it for the marketing.
Yep.
He needs to buy software.
And there were some packaging solutions too that he's going to use it for. Okay. I mean, the biggest challenge he has in the branding part is, he has to educate consumers what this is, and it's a lot to educate them on, because we had a lot of questions about how the app works. When I send in the jeans, who do I talk to next? And that's the other thing that's a little interesting about his concept too, is that it's not very human at the beginning, if you will, but then there is that intersection with the designer that it will be cool for the consumer to interact with them and learn how they're going to have their clothes made, which is really neat. Yeah. So, yeah.
And Mike, he had so many interesting facts about people and how much clothing they own, and they only wear a third of it. Right?
Yeah, he clearly knows his customers and his market. And I think the timing of what he's doing is spot on, because more people, I think, as consumers, they're getting comfortable with those types of platforms and sort of interactions with other parties, or direct to party, so to speak, exchanges. In using that platform as sort of a medium, I would say 4 or 5 years ago that had been difficult. But I think, as Angie had said in our more detailed discussion, people are becoming more comfortable in that environment.
Sure.
I think that he's been doing a little of the work behind the scenes to understand that Etsy has sort of created a format that people understand, where they have been doing some similar type of products in that way, that he could probably merge in with Etsy in some way to help his marketing component go. And because people have already sort of socialized into the understanding of how the process would work. Once again, those are challenges with any product, is to figure out how you're going to get somebody to want it, buy it, use it.
Okay. Yeah. American Roots, let's talk about them.
Yeah. I love their story. I mean, it's just a great American story, frankly, and what they've done and how they've come together after being in like sort of the corporate world, if you will, and what they're doing to bring American-made clothing back into America, basically. And I think that they have that brand and that story that really helps them sell. I think they have a lot of challenges in the fact that, they are selling to B2B, which is perfect for them. So they're getting the right type of clients that they need, but but it's just him selling, only him going out there. And they've got to learn how do they expand that, how are they going to make this grow. He talked about how they're going to use the money in terms of getting new equipment to do faster production.
Automated, yeah.
Yeah, automated production, but they got to get the customers too. So there's the chicken and egg thing there for them, but he can't just be him out there selling door to door kind of thing.
Right.
So.
And Mike, they already have 20 employees. They're working to add 10 more and then even more after that.
Yeah, this is a business that's really in a scale-up environment. And I think as pointed out, they've got great quality. They understand the customer. And their product, I think, in their product selection is spot on for what industries and other businesses are looking to have as far as logoed wear.
Yes. Final comments from Tim.
I would agree. I think that they've done an amazing job at American Roots to bring it to this point. They started with a very interesting premise that they wanted to create jobs for people in Maine, and they wanted to move people back into these jobs where it's a very noble thing to work with your hands and to be in the manufacturing industry. And this is one of the things I think that is kind of missed on a lot of business today, is that people make things. And these are handmade products coming from Maine. So I was very encouraged to see them.
Great.
Yeah.
We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
To find more resources on how to start and grow your business, visit greenlightmaine.com.
We're very proud of the product we make and the way that we make it. The most important features of our original dog vest are in its design. Traditional lenders, they steer away from unproven track records.
Can you come? Hold up.
CEI gave us the opportunity to build a track record, show that our future path will be more solid than our past.
Thomas College believes in innovation. From the Harold Alfond Institute for Business Innovation and our Center for Innovation in Education to 3-year undergraduate degrees and accelerated graduate programs in business, cybersecurity, and criminology, innovation is in our DNA. Money Magazine ranks Thomas 23rd in the nation for value, and our Guaranteed Job program backs that up. Thomas College, personal, practical, guaranteed.
Thomas College is a proud sponsor of Greenlight Maine. For more information about the presenters and panelists on all the Greenlight Maine shows, visit greenlightmaine.com.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. It's time to reveal today's winner. Judges, who's it going to be? Today's winner is American Roots. Congratulations to Whitney and Ben. They are advancing in the competition. That's all the time that we have for today. We appreciate your feedback, so please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can watch all of our episodes online at greenlightmaine.com. Have a fantastic Sunday. Congratulations, nice job. Yeah, congratulations, really good job.
Greenlight Maine has been brought to you by Thomas College. Personal, practical, guaranteed. Greenlight Maine would not be possible without the support of all of our corporate sponsors. Thank you.
Greenlight Maine has been a paid-for presentation by the Portland Media Group.